So nobody tells you that you're a spirit or that you are God manifested in human form. Nobody tells you that, right? Unless you have some like enlightened parents or awakened parents, you didn't know that. You don't know that, right? Nobody teaches you that. School doesn't teach you that, right? They don't want you to know that, of course, because if you knew that, if you knew who you truly were, none of this way of how we live would work. Nothing would work, right? But remember, your spirit over matter, right? Spirit is the nominator, matter is the denominator, right? The spirit world is everything. Spirit world is 99% of everything, 99.9% of everything, and the physical world is only 0.0001%, right? We live in a shadow realm, a mundane existence, a third dimensional plane. It's just a shadow of what really goes on in spirit, right? Because everything you see with the physical eye is spirit, right? Is a vibration. It just collapsed and condensed into physical form. Same way how we became humans, or not become humans, how we came into a human form in this experience, right? During this journey, right? We collapsed our spirit and condensed it, right? To manifest on this plane, which you have to do, right? To come here. So everything you see, even right, like this car, right? Or these buildings, houses, whatever you see, right? It's just collapsed spiritual energy, right? Even money is collapsed spiritual energy, right? It's a form of currency, right? That's why you can buy a $10 million house, right? All cash, and you can acquire that house. And the person who sells the house, they get the $10 million cash, because it's law of equal exchange, right? Two parties are equally exchanging energy and form, right? In physical form. But that energy, to acquire those things, right? That energy is first cultivated within oneself, right? Within the spirit world. And they don't teach you this, right? You're not meant to know this, right? But everything is, in fact, spirit. So whenever you want something, right? If you want something in life, just collapse it. Collapse it from spiritual form into physical form, right? And while you're in physical form, that spirit, that collapse, the way you collapse it may take time, right? Every seed that you plant takes its own time, right? Just like every animal, right? Every animal that procreates, each animal has a different duration of time before that baby, comes into fruition, right? Humans 9 months, other animals are different, right? But whatever you want, the seed takes time to cultivate, right? To ripen, to sprout, and to bloom, right? It doesn't happen overnight. But do you trust that seed, though? That's the thing. Do you trust the seed? Do you water it every single day and trust that it's going to bloom into fruition for you, right? Even the seed, that comes from spirit too. How do you think it blooms? How do you think it grows into a magical flower, right? It's first cultivated through spirit. So spirit over matter. If you know spirit rules over matter, then you know there's nothing to be afraid of. There's nothing to really want for, or nothing to strive for, right? And everything you do, like every action that you do will be part of who you are, right? It won't be out of force, right? You won't do anything out of force or out of scarcity or lack. You'll do it with trust, or you do it with just a joyous perspective. You do it from a state of flow instead of forcing it, right? And it will just happen automatically. Everything happens automatically. That's the law of attraction. The law of attraction is literally 24/7. It's the predominant feeling of your being 24/7. That's the law of attraction. So you naturally, automatically, there's no technique. You don't need a technique for manifestation. You naturally gravitate or pull in everything that you are being in the present moment, right? Constantly. So how you think and feel on a daily basis, that's what you bring in. You slowly bring in. And next thing you know, that seed, right? The seed is your feelings, right? Your thoughts and feelings. Those are the seeds, right? The thought is the seed. The feelings are the water, right? Water in the sun, watering the plant. And then slowly and surely it comes into your existence, right? That's how it works, right? Because you don't need a technique. It's really just the law of your being, the law of mind, right? God became man so man could become God. And the whole principle of life is to be about your Father's business, right? To be master of the word, master of your inner talking, and to mold this world of ours into the kingdom of love, right? Because it's not the physical world that's doing anything, it's all you, right? The physical world molds to you, slowly but surely, right? It might not seem like it in real time, in the present moment, right? Because your environment probably will stay the same for a while, but slowly but surely, some way, somehow, you are being guided towards that end goal, right? That destination, because you're already at the destination. And that's just how it works. That's really how it works. That's how the universe does everything. Everything's done by energy, right? Energy, frequency, and vibration. That's the law. That's the 3 laws of the universe, right? All the laws of the universe, like law of attraction, law of equals change, law of duality, whatever you want to call it, it's all through energy, frequency, and vibration. So you can master energy, frequency, and vibration. You've mastered the world, right? You are Jesus Christ himself, right? And you already are Jesus, right? As Paul said in the Bible, don't you know that Jesus Christ is in you? Unless, of course, you fail to meet the test, right? Do you fail to meet the test? What test? The test is to be God, right? It's to replicate God in his image. Be imitators of God as dear children, as the Bible says. So if you can do that, then you can literally manipulate this world to how you see fit. So easily, right? And it might seem hard. Like if you're new to this information, it might seem hard at first because you're still reacting to the physical world. You're still reacting to how this world plays out. But really, the reaction is just coming from a scarce-based mindset, because the reaction is just from a base level animal instinct that you need to force things or have things in your control, right? But the control is how you feel. That's the whole control. That's all you need is how you feel, right? It's a magical thing. It's a really crazy thing. And of course, nobody teaches this, right? I mean, people do teach it. They get people teach it online, but nobody teaches you this growing up because they don't, they don't know the information themselves, right? Their parents didn't teach them. Their parents didn't teach them, and just a cycle of ignorance, right? And not ignorance in like a mean way. It's just ignorance, and they just don't know, right? You don't know. I didn't know this until I didn't have a glimpse of this information probably until like 2019, right? Right. And sometimes you might hear this information and like you believe it, of course, but you won't really like be it, right? You won't really have it in your subconscious, right, or in your being, because you just haven't like took the time to repeat it. Everything goes off repetition, right? You have to repeat it to yourself. Like all the negative beliefs that you came to know, you obtain those beliefs through repetition, right? In the same way you can achieve your natural way of being, like your positive beliefs, is through repetition. And as you do it, you'll start to notice none of those negative beliefs or those faulty beliefs really come to mind as frequently, right? Or as much. They probably will still come to mind, of course. Like everybody's not fully wiped of negative beliefs or fully purified in the mind. It happens in different ratios and different frequencies for everybody, but you'll start to notice that all those beliefs you had are starting to diminish, right? Gone. But yeah, spirit over matter. That's all. That's the only thing that's real. Spirit is the only thing that's real, and the matter is real, of course, but it comes from spirit, right? It initially comes to you through spirit, and that's the law of everything, right? Energy, frequency, vibration. But that's it.